everyone, my name is Chris, along with my hetero life mate, Mr.
Jazz Hands Russ.
And we have a special video for you today. Russell, what is canon anymore? Coming up next on Comic Cave Podcast. Alright everyone, we're going to get right into it. So here is another episode of Comic Cave Podcast, an episode that we've been wanting to do for such a long time, what I've been wanting to do for such a long time. So Russell, as we both know, we're getting older and we're not getting any younger, and things that are coming out today are not for us maybe anymore.
No, they're not.
They're not for us. I mean, it goes from all the way from Marvel to DC to Star Wars to maybe anime.
Yeah, honestly. Yeah.
Our time has passed as fans, but we can still enjoy it from the sidelines, and also we have the old stuff to enjoy. But I feel like today's stuff that's coming out is inaccurate for today's readers and writers and listeners and watchers. Today's kids won't know the real reality of Superman or Batman or any other comic book character or Iron Man. Iron Man didn't create Ultron. That was Ant-Man.
So comics are the source material, and it's what... But let's be real. So if you're talking about the MCU and the DCEU, or DCAU even, these film adaptations in general are loosely based on the comics. They are not fully one-for-one adaptations of the comic book stories. I feel that's done for multiple reasons. I feel like in part
to keep things interesting,
right? Like you don't want to know exactly what's going to happen, right? Which is cool, but at the same time they do.
But if it's not broke, why fix it?
I was about to say at the same time, some of but there's a way to honor the source material without going about it like off the rails entirely. The DCAU has done a good job of that in the past. Now they have had some questionable films in more recent times at the same time too. So it does kind of like go back and forth. But definitely the films, specifically the live action stuff, specifically MCU and Star Wars, like they are ignoring a lot of the original source material. And
damn you, Disney. These
films, they're not the way that I've come to accept it personally, and you and I had a conversation about it, which I think led to some of this, was it's meant for people who haven't necessarily read the comics. It's meant for a broader audience. It's not meant for the niche comic book fans that, like, let's be real, like it is to be that into comics is a niche market. It's popular now, but it's popular because of the live action adaptations. So they're trying to reach a more broad audience and a younger generation. Let's be real, kids these days, and when we were younger, as we started getting older, they're more interested in watching something opposed to actually reading it. So this is where they are getting their material from now. This is what they're basing their stuff off of. I'm willing to bet at some point, whether I agree with this or disagree with it is irrelevant. This is what's probably going to happen. The films are the source material and the comics will become extra.
Oh shit.
That's what we're heading.
I mean, how could you do that when the comics came years? I mean, Superman alone has been around for 90 years?
The medium is changing. It's now about films. It's not about the comics.
Now, also, I'm kind of, I'm guilty of this too. You know, I didn't grow up watching The Boys, reading The Boys or Invincible, but I think the shows are great. I think the show on Amazon and I think the cartoon on Amazon is great.
And that's a good example of like The Boys and Invincible where they respect the source material, but they have changed stuff as well. They're going about things in a different way. So it's doable. It's definitely doable. So why, yeah, man, like, I don't know. Why aren't the...
I guess our time has passed in the sense of when it comes to things like Star Wars and the X-Men are now different, new characters, everyone's changing everyone's race, sexual orientation, so on and so forth. So I guess a kid today that would be...
Inclusivity.
Right. I guess a kid today that would be introduced to Superboy is, Superboy is bi now. But when we grew up, Superboy is nowhere nearby. Connor didn't even exist.
Right.
And Connor is like a relatively new concept. I think he came out in the 2000s, right?
Yeah, the OG Superboy was the clone or whatever.
Right. He was the clone whenever Superman died and so on and so forth. But Connor came in way later. Connor wasn't even a thing. But now, you know, kids that are reading comics today they'll see a black Superman or a black Superwoman, so on and so forth. Somebody's gay, somebody's bi, whatever.
That's all within the comics itself. And
Right.
I mean, do you think that they're setting some of those up within the comics so that they can say that it's source material, so when they adapt it to the film,
Right.
it's source?
I mean, it's all part of the plan.
Right.
But I'm saying, like, I hope kids these days, that are at least in their teens, will go back and read the original source material to see the evolution of this character, like a Superman, like a Batman, like an X-Men, so on and so forth, like I'm saying DC names right now, but Marvel, like an Iron Man.
Right.
Man, in the 90s,
Spider-Man.
Iron Man didn't mean shit. Iron Man, no one cared about Iron Man in the 90s. They didn't give a shit about Iron Man until
They
the movie
barely
came out.
cared about the Fantastic Four, to be real with you.
Fantastic Four was really up there, but Avengers, no one... I mean, the Avengers were great, but no one was really like, the Avengers.
Marvel's main things were the Spider-Man franchise, the X-Men franchise, and the Avengers franchise, I would argue.
The Avengers?
I would say Avengers over the Fantastic Four. I don't really think
Avengers...
much.
Well, see, you have to remember, when we were growing up, there was a Fantastic Four cartoon. The Avengers cartoon didn't come into, like, way later. The Avengers were included in the Fantastic Four cartoons. Like, you saw in Iron Man, Captain America. Same thing with Spider-Man. You saw the Avengers in those cartoons, but they weren't highlighted upon until, like, way later, until the movies came out. But, like I said, I hope today's kids, today's youth, will go back and read the original source material, and maybe they'll see a different dynamic. I mean,
I do think that some will, because I mean, you like, even when we were kids and stuff, like, part of the reason why I ended up going back and reading the Static comics was because of the
right. How do you feel about that? So,
And
kid today, Static story, I know from what you say, is different.
I think that it is different, and I still need to do my breakdown of that. But I do think that there will be I don't want to say minority group, but like, there will be a select few kids that will go back and read, but I don't think the majority of them will.
Now I'm going to hit Russell in the Z's, in the Dragon Ball Z's to be exact. You've been telling me that they have been making Goku's dad more lovable, more approachable, but when you grew up with Goku's dad, he was like a piece of shit. He was a shithead dad. He was a trailer park dad.
I wouldn't say he was more I don't stoic might be the right word. He was more to the Saiyan. So, like, Saiyans have characteristics and traits. They were originally within the series more of they didn't really care as much about their families. They were a little bit more cutthroat as a race as whole, and his Bardock still fit very much within that. The only reason why he started caring about Goku is because in the original Bardock, father of Goku, short animation film that came out, that messed me up. Sorry, he got a phone call. How dare you get a phone call in the middle of our
Scammers?
Very, very unprofessional. But no, when that came out, like that was, it wasn't necessarily canon, but like that was what everybody based. Similar to like the Killing Joke, like, right? Like everybody took like that as kind of like a Joker origin or whatever, but it's not canon.
I thought you meant the cartoon. The movie cartoon sucked.
No, just similar to how they took that as like an official origin or whatever, but it's not actually. That's how it was with Bardock. Like he had his own storyline with that, and like he was a badass. He was a lot more like meaner and stuff. So yeah, it was cool.
And so now he's a nice dad.
Not necessarily. Yes. Yeah. A nice dad. He just stuff within Dragon Ball Super. Go check out my breakdowns of the Dragon Ball Super manga chapters to get full background on this stuff and like my analysis of that. But yes, no, they have made him a lot more kind-hearted, which is not traditional for the original way of the Saiyans. However, that original background for Bardock was written by somebody else, and Akira Toriyama is the one that's actually kind of guiding and directing. I'm going to say fully writing his own. Toyotaro's involved, other people are involved. Now it's not just Toriyama anymore. Dogs, stop. Sorry guys, this is very unprofessional. So bottom line, like it's hard to say because now Bardock is canon, and this version of Bardock is the canon Bardock, and the old one has like gone away, and it was never actually canon. But that's the one that people grew up with. So like we have an affinity towards that. Does this make sense?
I mean, I understand it, and once again, it goes back to like our time has passed. Our time is done. We are
doing things different. Right?
We are now the people like that's not how that goes, and that's not what you're supposed to do. We are now the old men.
I've come to accept with like
back in my day, we're those people now.
I've come to accept with like the MCU specifically and the DCEU that those films that are coming out whether I like it or not, like, and let's
Star
be real,
Wars.
I don't like it. Like, I don't like the direction that they're going with a lot of this stuff. I don't like some of the changes that they're making, but it's not marketed for me. It's marketed for the normies, for lack of a better way to put it. It's marketed for the people that don't really know the background and history. They're taking more liberties because people don't know, and they don't know any better, and they don't care. So they're just trying to make it.
But we as
Popular
OG
what
comic book
sells.
fans gotta stand up and be like, no.
You don't have to accept it by any means. Like, just because it's not marketed for us or it's not made for us doesn't mean that we have to accept it. We should hold them up to a higher standard. But
if you're an OG comic fan out there, please write down in the comments below or just message us or something and say, what do you think was like, I'm pretty sure fans who are in their 50s and 60s and 70s, a Spider-Woman, what the fuck? And, you know, Spider-Woman, you know, progression.
Right.
We're being progressive. But what is y'all's? I'm curious to, like, what the fans thought the change. Because I know the Star Wars fans were like, the prequels are stupid.
Right, and now they're accepted.
My generation, I love the prequels. I mean, my favorite Star Wars is Episode 3, as we all know. But time goes on, and things get written out or rewritten.
That's
or
what I'm saying. I think
rebooted.
I think that eventually what it's going to be is that the films are going to be considered more of like the canon and the stories and stuff, and the comics are going to be extra. And I feel like, I'm pretty sure there was an interview done with Kevin Feige where like he flat out said that's what was happening. Like that was the direction they were
he's
going.
gonna try to, yeah.
Yeah. So
Well, I
like,
think it was at the Miss Marvel thing.
Yeah. So.
But come whatever may be, what do you guys think? What is y'all's opinion? Please comment down below and give us a like and everything. And also, before we go...
What up, everybody? It's Russ. I'm chiming in real quick because Chris forgot to mention that we will be back at Comicpalooza this year. That's right. If you haven't heard, we're back for the second time. We're hosting 2 panels. One with Brian Volkwest, the guy who created The Toys Who Made Us, The Movies Who Made Us, and A Toy Store Near You. And we're joined by our boys over at Super Happy Incredible Toys to talk about their episode on A Toy Shop Near You, which is on Amazon Prime. You guys can go check it out. Right now, it's season 4, episode 1. We're going to be talking to them about how they made the show and all the cool behind the scenes things of that episode. And then we're also hosting a panel on that one's on Saturday, July 16th. And we're also hosting a panel on July 17th on Sunday. I hope I'm getting these dates right. Don't shoot me. And the July 17th will be we're joined by a couple of our other buddies. You guys might have met them or heard them on our previous episodes, Literarty Press and Lesser Known Comics. We interviewed each of them about comics that they have published. These are 2 publishing companies for comics, and we're going to be talking about how to publish a comic. And at each of the panels, we will be doing giveaways. We always like to give stuff away. And as you guys saw, we recently gave something away on Instagram. We're about to do another giveaway on there. And we have the giveaway going on YouTube. So you guys like stuff, come pull up on us. Come check us out. Cop your tickets to Comicpalooza right now. They are up for sale. And then you can also see when the panels are all being done and the schedule. Everything's up right now on comicpalooza.com. Go check it out. Come check out and hang out with your boys and come win some free stuff. Love to see you there. Peace.
So we have a special giveaway. As you know, we've been giving away this My Hero Academia prize. Action figure, dolls, posable figures, I don't know what you want to call it.
Hey, camera guy, get a close up on this.
Okay. My Hero Academia Funimation. Who's on the cover, Russell?
We got All Might and All for One.
All for One, 3 Musketeers. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. And if you get us to 200 subscribers on YouTube, we'll give you that grand prize. And also, we're having a prize on Instagram as well.
And then we'll do another giveaway.
That's true. So once again, my name is Chris, and what are your opinions on this? And once again, my name is Chris, along with my head of life mate,
Russ.
Mr. Russ. These are our opinions. We'd like to hear your opinions. And also remember, that's what's up.